Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G. It's time for a cup of grata with a shot of expression and two squirts of reality. Today I have a really super fabulous co-squirt. Every once in a while, you ever guys ever just scrolling through Facebook doing your thing and you run across someone's posts and you're just like, wow. And you're just absolutely wowed and to the point where you have to reach out and say, "Hey, I need to know you." Well, that's what struck me when I met our guest today. And his name is Striker Corbin. I'm going to bring him on up. Striker, welcome to
Hey,
Spirituality Gone Wild.
hey, thank you. Good to see you.
It's so wonderful to see you too. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm going to tell everybody really quickly. I have a short bio. You teach people how to find happiness and how to develop mindset success. We're going to be talking about that today. His audience has learned to make physical changes, overcome fears, and ignite their confidence. As a former president of the NYC National Speakers Association, he speaks to organizations across the country while managing a thriving hypnosis success coaching practice in Hauppauge. Is that correct?
Hop yes.
Hauppauge.
Pretty good.
He's appeared on News 12 Long Island and has been a reoccurring guest on WBLI Morning Show. Well, welcome to Cuppa Grata. Thank you for being my co-squirt.
Thank you. I've been called a lot of things over the years, but never been called a co-squirt before. That's very interesting.
Got to get a Cuppa Grata on. Tell
I
you
got mine. I
what.
got it.
Woo! Get into that grateful thing. You know what I mean. See the grateful thing.
Very
Tell
cool.
you. I am so excited you're here because you're going to be talking to us about hypnosis, which is quite frankly one of my. I'm fascinated by the entire field of hypnosis and the fact that I do know that this is a way for people to really implement permanent, lasting change in their life because it's altering their brain chemistry. It's altering everything. But I really don't know, and I'm just going to put the spotlight on you, and we're going to talk to you about well, first, give us a little background that led you up into this piece of hypnosis.
Sure. Look, like anyone else, I got into hypnosis as a big time skeptic. I didn't, really knew what it was or how it would help people at all. I got in because I wanted to grow my speaking business. As a professional speaker, I'm speaking to audiences. And I thought, you know what, maybe I like to do the stage shows. Maybe I like to do those shows where people come up and they make fools of themselves up on stage. And so I went to learn about hypnosis. And when I was there, the instructor spoke a lot about the mind-body connection, and a lot about how hypnosis was great to help people quit smoking, lose weight, gain confidence, things of that nature. And, I've often made the mind-body connection. In the course of my life, I've done a lot of long-distance running, biking, swimming. And, in athletics, I know I could always psych myself up. I could always psych myself out. So I was familiar with what you were saying about the mind-body connection. And so what happens as a professional speaker, when you give a presentation in front of a large audience, there's always a number of people that want to work with you or, garner knowledge from you one-on-one. And I decided that I would form a second branch of my business where I began seeing people one-on-one for coaching and hypnosis. And the hypnosis helped people make relatively quick changes. And again, starting out, look, I'm a healthy skeptic. If you told me, I've used this example numerous times, if you told me you cured your own personal illness by twisting your thumb 3 times a day, I wouldn't say, get the hell out of here. I want to know more. And so,
Well, actually, I love that you know what? The tool curiosity.
yeah, why not? I
It's
don't
so
have all the
awesome.
answers. You want to
I
kind of be
love it.
open-minded with this stuff. And,
Mm.
for someone who was, most of my life, I was a grounded, pretty conservative guy. I thought I was raised Catholic, but that didn't stick. I thought we made up spirituality and stuff so we felt better about death. So I would have labeled myself as pretty conservative, not spiritual at all, pretty practical. But again, like I said, I really am. I think I'm an independent thinker. And that's all I really teach people to be is independent thinkers. What's really pretty strange, Deb, is that, everyone says they've never used hypnosis before. When you come into my office, I have them fill out an intake form. And one of the questions is, have you used hypnosis before? And most people, on the rare occasions, it's a yes, but most people check off no. And I have to explain to people that we have all been hypnotized our entire lives. You've heard things
Mm.
over and over and over again that you just bought as bedrock truth. And you have no idea if it's legit or not. From day one you land on this planet, you hear things about what makes you lovable, what makes you successful, what makes you, who you are. And a lot of it's based on your culture, your religion, family, nationality, the media. And a lot of it is just either fear-based or incorrect. But we never examine why we believe what we believe. And we have performed a sort of hypnosis on ourselves where we just accept things as bedrock truth and never really question. And that's the key to being an independent thinker. What do I believe and why do I believe it? And hypnosis enables you to really get into that state where you do that quiet introspection, either on your own or with someone like myself's help, who gets you to understand your thoughts. And more importantly, Deb, the emotions you attach to those thoughts, because that's what really gives them their power.
I'm loving this. Okay. So a lot of people, what I heard you talking about just now is that a lot of people are like, they're skeptical. And what I'm hearing you say is you're encouraging people to use this tool of curiosity to step into maybe a different thought, a different way of looking at it. I love how we're shifting perspective and also bringing up the fact that emotion is important, because what I'm hoping to see here is that hypnosis is going to give us a deeper understanding of the emotions and how to adjust when we're kind of going up or when we're going down. When we're up, we're good, but also maybe how to stay up. But let's just keep diving into it. So tell me about your experience, the first time you experienced with intention hypnosis.
The interesting thing is that, again, when I first started, and I've been doing this about 20 years now, I would meet with clients, and initially they came in for the things you would expect: smoking, weight loss, and I have to tell you, when I began, I didn't know what to really expect, but I used the hypnosis with people, and they would leave, and then they'd come back, and these people became non-smokers. Some of these people who could not speak in front of audiences got over their fear and delivered a wonderful presentation. So I really got the validation that, simply by getting someone into a focused, relaxed state, and then telling them you can, you will be able to, you're just changing their modifications and their beliefs, that they went out and became non-smokers. What did they do, Deb? They spent maybe 20 to a half hour. Well, we're together, and the initial session with me is about 90 minutes long. I get to know them. I talk to them about hypnosis, dispel some of the myths. But it's also not a one-size-fits-all script. If you come to see me and we're dealing with a particular issue, I'm not reading from a script where the same person's going to hear the same thing over and over again, no matter what they come for. It's tailored for your needs. And so I would help people get past their addictions, and then they would send friends and family, or they come back for other things. And it was just truly fascinating because, like I said, I just wanted to help people make these changes relatively quickly. And I myself was shocked, really pleasantly surprised that, holy crap, they spent some time with me. And now some people smoked up to 3 packs a day, and now they're done after spending a little time with me. I thought it was fascinating.
That is fascinating.
What it did for me then, Deb, it opened up a whole big avenue where clients, after they would have success with hypnosis, they looked upon me as a tool, as a resource. And I think they thought that because I was a hypnotist, I should know things about much of the spiritual world, ESP, past life experiences, near death. And to be honest with you, I didn't know really any of that. I was never very curious about it. But I didn't like not being a resource to people. I wanted to be able to answer their questions or give them further guidance. So that's the point in which I really went after my own questions, my own answers to the questions of, what do I believe and why do I believe it? And in doing so, and again, there are so many incredible, very credible sources for me that showed to me that there's clearly more to life than meets the eye. And book after book, video after video made me a better hypnotist, made me a better coach, made me a better person. And it was amazing that I just went down that little bit of a rabbit hole and discovered the secrets of the power of your thoughts and the emotions behind those thoughts, which is really all hypnosis is: analyzing your thoughts, rearranging, changing the thoughts if they're positive, or reinforcing them if they're good. Changing them if they're negative, reinforcing them if they're positives, and attaching the subsequent positive emotions to those thoughts. And people can do whatever, I know it's cheesy, but people can do whatever they set their mind to. It's the old Henry Ford adage, and I say this several times a day to people: whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
I love that. You're so stinking right. One of the cool things that comes up for me, and I love what you're sharing right now, and I love your rabbit hole too, because that's one heck of a dive, right? Whoop,
Mm.
doo.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm still playing in the rabbit hole. So what I do know about breaking addictions and that type of thing, addictions, I believe, are the uh, evidence that something's up. That's the best we've got, the time or whatever. So, is it safe to consider that hypnosis is addressing the root issue here? Because in order to get past that, it's got to be hitting that root issue of shame, criticism, blame, not worthy, not deserving, all those thought processes that lead us in, especially shame. Shame is like, I think shame is one of the biggest pieces that drive people into the addiction arena,
Mm.
because they're just trying to feel okay,
Right,
you
right.
know?
Yeah.
So tell me because that's where I'm at right now as I'm looking at hypnosis going, wow, I'm seeing this. Is it shifting those core beliefs?
Yeah, it really is because it's the core beliefs that determine who you are. And I always tell people that we can learn through joy. We can. Most people don't. They're just like happy and hoping that God doesn't strike them down for being too happy. But like that's a God you want to worship, right? This guy's too happy. Smack him down.
Oh, that's
Um,
not going to last. We can't have that.
yeah, exactly.
You're done. Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah, thanks.
Jesus.
That's an all-loving God, right?
Yeah, no.
But what happens is when you get knocked on your ass, when you have a downturn, when something's not going right, either loss of a loved one, loss of a job, health scare, that's often when we are most apt to reach out to find answers. Try a new program, pick up a new book, get to the gym. It's unfortunate. I wish everyone could just have happy lives all the time. And I tell people, like, my own life is like the New York Stock Exchange, short-term fluctuations, but long-term growth. And it is when you get knocked on your ass that you have the opportunity to make changes in how you think, how you feel, and therefore how you act. But you got free will. It's only the opportunity to make those changes. You can continue to bitch, moan, and complain and whine that I got my dad's DNA, I grew up in the wrong neighborhood. So it's just free
Hallelujah.
will, and again, you're right. The moment you land on this planet, the moment you are on this earth, you start to get message about what makes you lovable, what makes you wonderful. Look, little kids are amazing. Little kids have imaginary friends. They play. They're joyful. No kid is born evil. No kid is born, with evil intent. That's science fiction crap. Okay, hold a little baby in your arms. They're just pure joy and goodness. But what happens is eventually we those kids begin to separate from their eternal knowledge that we are all connected. We are eternal. There is a purpose for taking this physical life, and you land in this earth life with earth amnesia. And from that point on, your childhood begins to separate you from eternal knowledge. And then what happens? The worst thing that happens to all of us: we send you to school. And once we send you to school, now it's be quiet, get in line, stop looking out the window, and you're compared to other kids. You don't read as well as, you didn't develop as soon as, you're not as funny as. And now we lose our whole connection to our self-love. And from this point on, it's really a goal of mine to help people in my practice, to help them reconnect with self-love, their uniqueness, their individuality, that there is a purpose that they took this physical form. And most people forget, and they don't think they're anything special, don't think they're anything wonderful about their journey, and it's all random chaos, which it is not. There are no coincidences. Everything's happening for an intended positive purpose. But you can either awaken to those positive opportunities, or you can stay stuck in the complaints and the woe is me department.
I love all of it. It's just scrumptious. The oh woe is
That's
me
scrumptious.
department. It's scrumptious. This is delicious stuff, man. I've got, yes. Thank you, Crystal. You guys, the audience is just like, yes, amazingly shared. Thank you. Yes, it all starts in childhood. Yep, yep.
It
Those
does.
belief
It really
systems.
does.
And tell me out there, you guys, how is victim syndrome serving you? Victim syndrome is catchy like the VD, but it's the BS. We even have special hemorrhoidal pads for the butt hurt individuals that need the emergency butt hurt kit for the victim syndrome. And Stryker, why do you think that why do I know that so well? Because I was that.
Mm.
I was that. And when I listen to you, the things that come across, it's like, what gratitude I have. What gratitude I have to have you here right now, to be sharing with everyone listening that there is another possibility out there that maybe they have or haven't considered. Maybe they did try it, but went right back into the self-loathing mode. And
Mm.
a lot of the reasons I stayed in victim syndrome was simply because it served my purpose of staying in my self-loathing mode. So we have determined that hypnosis helps us to break these patterns. Let's keep going.
Deb, I don't want to minimize anyone's childhood trauma or difficulties they had
Oh
growing
no,
up,
right.
because
Well, I agree.
I learned that, from much, I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate. One of the parts of learning in my life is that I really grew up in a Brady Bunch-like environment. I was unconditionally loved by my grandparents, who were largely responsible for much of my early childhood development. When my dad was away in the service, my mom lived with her parents. And I don't think there's anything closer to unconditional love than grandparent to grandkid, maybe pet owner to pet. And I was really raised in a way in which I felt I was taught I could do anything. So when I got to school and maybe you win election to student council or you win a spelling bee or whatever, I always had a good sense of self. And I think that, Deb, it led me to grow up a little bit callous, a little bit. I've always had empathy. I always felt bad for other people, but I didn't think it was that difficult a journey. And it wasn't until I
Mm.
started working with people, until I really had good, significant one-on-one conversations with people, that realized that, holy crap, these people have not had my childhoods. How is this person even getting out of bed in the morning? Or, it's rough for a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
became even more compassionate, more empathetic. And I began to realize that everyone truly is doing the best they can with their given level of awareness. And those early childhood traumas, or whether you were raised lovingly or whether you were not, they are a bear sometimes to overcome. But that's the journey of the soul. That's part of the quest. Why you came here. You set up the ability. You're stronger than you think you are. You're more resilient than you believe you are. And once you start to make those steps, you can really turn things around. And those are the best stories. Those are the stories of people who really come from nothing and make incredible successes of their lives. I'm inspired by that.
I,
So
I agree
that's
with you.
important,
I do agree with you. I say without your dark you wouldn't know your spark. And
Yeah.
I've had those traumas, and a lot of them actually. In fact, so many of them that it's allowed me to step into a space of empathy that it's humbling to be in some of the spaces I can be sometimes, Stryker, because I can feel their heart, know and understand where they're at, and trust the divine to give me the words that maybe they need to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But what you just said was just so perfect. Everybody is right where they need to be. Everybody is right where they need to be. It used to be where I'd meet people and think, well, if they did this, this, and this, I'm instantly trying to go into fix it mode because of my own codependent.
Right.
I had those that I was in that space, and now it's like I meet people and I'm studying this, right? The Tao Te Ching.
Mm-hmm.
This one's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. I don't know if you've read this.
I
This one,
have, yes.
I'm embracing this right now, slowly digesting the teachings of the Tao and the softness of it and the acceptingness of it has really been changing my perspective. And I am so loving where you're at with it and your willingness to actually expand with people because you didn't come from that background, to step into a space where you did understand. Honestly, your gracious understanding is to me, it's like comforting, and I love that, because when somebody cares enough, rather no matter where they came from, to want to understand someone else, to me that's heart-centered conscious work. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I think
So
that's important.
yeah,
And again,
yeah.
going with that book that you just raised, what are the assignments if you're connected with me on Facebook and every client that comes to see me, whether they come in for, change your thoughts. I tell people, and I've posted this numerous times on Facebook, people might get tired of me posting it, but I tell every one of my clients, I give them the exact same homework assignment, whether they come in for smoking, weight loss, fears, or whatever they come for. I ask everyone to go 48 hours, 2 days, without a negative or fear-based thought. And most people nod at me. They go, okay, great. I'm like, no, man, you don't understand. Most people can't go 10 minutes without a negative or fear-based thought. And it's not often, Debbie, that I want them to, it's not like you can't ever have a negative or fear-based thought again. It's going to happen. I just ask people to be aware of their thoughts, and aware of how often your thoughts go down fear-based or negativity, or you're not even aware of it half the time. Most people are living autopilot lives. They're pissed off because it's Monday or Tuesday, somewhat happy because it's Friday or Saturday, pissed off again because it's Monday or Tuesday. And everyone's living these lives that they are literally creating themselves because they're not aware of the power of their thoughts. And again, the importance of the emotions being attached to those thoughts. If you want a better life, the first thing you need to do is to start to really watch the quality of your thoughts. Where's your focus going? And what do you believe? And so that going in that idea of your thoughts, I literally have found that is such a true statement that thoughts become things. Your thoughts create your reality. The thoughts that are attached to emotions, even more so. Joyful, happy, wonderful, I can. It creates a reality. It creates an abundance in your life that just creates this whole kind of momentum that continues to bring into your life good health, abundance, and best of all, really wonderful relationships. And it all centers from you. It all starts with what you put out there. You are like a human magnet, to make it as simple as I can. And that the attractiveness of your magnet are the thoughts and the emotions and what we call charisma, your confidence. We talk about charismatic people as like they're magnetic. Why? Because when you're near someone who's charismatic, you're drawn into their energy, you're drawn into their essence. And that's what it is. And we all have that capability, but we all have on these cloaks, masks, and layers of, I can't, I'm nothing special, I'm not attractive enough. And it just kind of is a repellent energy. So if you want health, if you want to stay healthy and fit, which I never get sick, you want to figure out how to never get sick, I'll talk to you all day about how to stay healthy. If you want complete abundance, you can start pulling in so that you have everything you could ever want in your life, and you want to have really passionate, dynamic, fun, adventurous relationships, you're at the center of all of that. You are literally at the center of all of those things.
Oh, I'm loving this. My hands up. Yes. Yes. I love all those things. Yes. Anybody else out there just like, yes, that's what we want. Okay. So how does hypnosis help? And then hypnosis, the process of getting there. So what I've heard is this is a really great practice. You're encouraging and challenging people to pay attention to what they're thinking first, that to become aware so they can become mindful of it. How do you teach? And then where is the shift for them? So you become, okay, so I'm aware, I've got these thoughts. How do I stop it? How do I break this loop-de-loop that just won't stop?
Right. Well, that's a great question. And thoughts are just like any other habit you have. If you have a smoking habit, you have to cut a new habit today, a new one tomorrow, a new one the next day, like anything else. Thoughts will be just like any other habit. And I use the analogy, if you watch water coming down the side of a mountain, that water is going to follow the known channel. It's going to follow the known path. If you want that water to go in a different direction, you must physically block up where it's flowing from, and then you have to really redirect where you want it to go. So that's the first step when your thoughts, and that's why I ask people to go 48 hours out of negative thought. I need you to stop the way you've been thinking and feeling and block out the negative ones. Just put a moratorium on them. Put them on a shelf. If a negative or fear-based thought comes into your mind, it's not like, oh my God, I blew it. I can't do it. No, just put it on the shelf. Say, look, today is Wednesday. So if I ask you to go 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, about a negative or fear-based thought, one pops into you and say, wait, I'm not going down this path till Friday. If something's so negative, you got to remember it badly enough, write it down, put it in your pocket. I guarantee if you take it out on Friday, oh yeah, I got to be pissed off about this. You'd be like, oh, for God's sake, that's so stupid. But that is the first step. You must put the kibosh on your negative thoughts and emotions. Just give yourself a break for 48 hours. And then from there, you begin, like an exercise habit, you begin to cut new ways of thinking, feeling and acting. You got to break. You have X number of years you've been alive thinking you're feeling a certain way. And like anything else, any other habit, your thoughts must be, you got to be aware of them and then redirect them to, and here's the basic 3 things I teach everyone who works with me. My principles I base my life on. I am, I can, I got this. I am unique. I am amazing. I'm funny. I'm sexy. I'm witty. I'm able. I can do whatever I put my mind to. I can stop smoking. I can lose weight. I can make a ton of money. I can meet someone. And underneath those 2 things is always the essence of, I got this. I got this. And I got this doesn't mean it's always going to be a straight line of progress. It means no matter what happens, I'm going to figure this shit out. And I'm going to be in there making adjustments. But I know one of my core beliefs, you talked about core beliefs before, Debbie. My core belief is that I always land on my feet. Things always go my way. I'm a very lucky person, but I know I make my own luck. That's a different discussion. But my core belief is things always go my way. Maybe not immediately. Maybe they take some twists and turns or go down some dark alleys I didn't expect, but I always land on my feet. That's a good core belief for anyone to have.
I'm loving this. So what are your core beliefs out there, audience? Type a couple of them in the chat. I am, I can, I've got this.
It's a good mantra to recite to yourself. It really is. Anytime you kind of just take some deep breaths and you're feeling you're not your best, you're feeling a little, whether you got to give a public presentation or you have to do something at work or you're being observed at work, or you want to ask someone out on a date, you want to maybe change professions. You have to kind of talk to yourself in a way in which you realize, but again, please don't believe me. I always tell people, don't believe a word I say, test for yourself. That's the key thing. I don't need you to believe me. I know what I believe. I don't need you to validate my beliefs. Go out and figure out what you believe and why you believe it. If none of this works for you, fine. For years, it's very funny, Debbie, as a professional speaker, years ago when movies like The Secret and other things came out, everybody wanted to know about the law of attraction. Everybody wanted to learn about the law of attraction. Even businesses, which had never brought in a speaker to speak to their sales force and stuff like that about spiritual matters like the law of attraction, were suddenly interested in having some speakers come in and talk about or teaching their sales force the law of attraction. And it was a popular thing to do. Well, that was good for a while. And then 2 years later, the popular topic on the speaking tour was, why isn't the law of attraction working for you? Because it don't work for most people. It doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean it's not a true thing. It just wasn't working for most people. Why? It's very simple. Most people will make a vision board where they'll focus on what they want, or they'll do yoga or meditation, and they'll spend their time for about 15 minutes each morning focusing on that vision board, seeing the beautiful people, the yachts, the travel. And then they forget. There's another 23 hours and 45 minutes a day that their thoughts are garbage. And the universe doesn't stop listening to your thoughts simply because you took your attention off your vision board. And you have to start to really focus on, you literally create your reality. You pull into your life based on your thoughts. If you have something in your life, beautiful. You manifested. You made it happen. If you don't have it, you're the reason. You don't have the correct beliefs or the mindset or the emotional attachment to having those things. It's pretty legit. And a lot of people think it may be woo-woo, or it's not practical, it's not logical. It don't matter to me. You're entitled to believe what you want. But if you want to be happy, you're at the center of that happiness, and allow yourself to test. That's all you got to do is test. I got into hypnosis as a big time skeptic, like I said before, and I just tested it. And I've seen people make incredible transformations. And I have no power over them. I wish I could hit everyone in the head and say, wow, you're under my power. I'd be very happy, very wealthy. But you can only make suggestions to people, Debbie. You make positive suggestions to people. You leave people with breadcrumbs, little seeds, as you're doing with your program. And you give them the opportunity to make changes. But they got free will.
That's beautiful. It's everything that you've been saying is true in my life. And what I'm loving here is the audience is resonating. Nicole's saying, I am smart and lovable for my uniqueness and original business ideas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right on.
And Wendy says, my mom drilled use your head to save your ass into my head many years ago.
I like that. Well, I might have to make a meme. I'm gonna put that up on Facebook. That's funny. I bet that would go over really well on Facebook. I got to steal that one. Put that up again later because I'll give her credit. That was pretty good.
Use your head to save your ass. Thank
I
you,
love.
Wendy. Does anybody, and by the way, if anybody has any questions for Stryker, please type them into the chat. And then right here floating across the screen, you see strykercorbin.com. This is where you can go and learn more. And guess what? His courses are available on Udemy. But how else can they work with you? We're not done, but I really want people that are on right now to hear this before they have to go.
Yeah, I wanted to dispel some myths about hypnosis as it being mind control or spooky or scary. So one of the best things you can try, and it's completely free. I have an app. You go to Stryker, whether you use an Android device or an iPhone, you go to your Play Store or the Google Play Store or the App Store, and you look for Stryker Corbin Motivational Hypnosis. And there you'll find my app, and each day it has a motivational message of the day. And then I have videos on there, and under the audio section, you have many of them. There's got to be at least 15 free ones on there that you can try. Set your intention for the day. I have one called You're a Money Magnet, one about a midday boost. So you can try those, and I made them usable. They're 8 to 10 minutes long. So I know a lot of people don't have. If you work with me, I give you a self-hypnosis recording that's about 20 minutes long or so that I ask people to listen to if they can in the morning or before they fall asleep at night. But I find that I'm a pretty practical guy. I like to make things usable. So on my app, I have the short self-hypnosis recordings that are 8 to 10 minutes long. And most people if you don't have 8 to 10 minutes in the morning or the day, you're doing something wrong. So
Y'all hear that right now?
I'm not. So listen, pick one you want. Pick one of the free ones. And it's basically, hypnosis is very, very similar to guided meditation. And all it is I do a progressive relaxation with people relatively quickly because I don't want to waste a lot of time of 10 minutes relaxing you, but a relatively quick progressive relaxation, closing your eyes and then asking you to visualize and feel the things I'm asking you to think about it, whether you're a money magnet or whether you have incredible confidence and focus. It's fun. So that's a nice, simple, easy way for people to get introduced to not just me, but hypnosis and how to begin to train your thoughts in the morning. I love each morning. I start with one called Set Your Intention. Don't let the day just wash over you. Don't let today just start over you because it's a Wednesday or whatever. In the morning, take your time to envision what kind of day you want to have. Take 8 minutes, listen to Set Your Intention, and then go about your business, feeling chest out, shoulders back. I got this, or I'm looking forward to, or I'm excited about, or whatever fires you up. So the app is a good resource for you.
Okay, so everybody, you've got to get this app. Erica Lynn, you're so cute. She says, woo, Stryker knows Debbie Garcia. My world's colliding.
It's a small world. Social media has made us all a lot closer.
Seriously, right? I mean, it's just amazing. Erica, thank you. You rock. I am super excited about the app. And the reason is because I am I love anything that brings that tool into my life that allows me to get my mind in check.
Mm-hmm.
But what you just said is so important. What is your morning practice? What's your morning routine? What do you do when you get up out of bed? Or even before do you start before you get out of bed or when you get out of bed?
It's interesting. I'm not a person that needs to linger in bed long. I don't hit the snooze thing like that. I automatically get up every morning, usually between, around about 7 o'clock every morning. I just get up. I don't sit in bed for too long. So I get up. And one of the first things I like to do is, again, to, just take a little quiet time. I'm a big coffee drinker. So the first thing I do is I get a cup of coffee. And that gets me started. But then when I sit down at my desk, I really love my workspace. You're getting to see a little bit, just the back of me, but it's surrounded with things I love, man. It's surrounded, if you saw the other wall, it's got just things that make me feel comfortable. I like being in this space. And I will, again, often I take my own advice. I don't do anything I don't ask other people to do. I really walk my talk, Debbie. That's the thing. I think all of us in the spiritual vein, everything we do, I see too many people that just don't walk their talk. I really do. I see people that are all about love and compassion and joy. And then I go look at their Facebook feeds and I'm like, oh my God, they just don't get it. You got to walk your talk, man. And so I do. I like to start off each day with my own And it may sound weird, but it's because it's my voice, but I like that. I listen to my own guided meditations on my own app. I use the exact same ones that I'm putting out there for everybody else. And that gets me started. And then I just then I'll go to Facebook and I'll post a positive meme. I'll post a positive statement. And one of the things I love, Debbie, is then people start to engage with me. And I try to answer people and I try to give them, a positive message or just an affirmation or just a hello. And for me, it's become part of my morning routine where we are all connecting. And then, of course, I got to get up and get my butt to the gym because that's my other happy place. I could live in a gym 24/7, and I just love working out, and I love how that makes me feel. And so, yeah, that's my morning routine. It involves coffee. It involves quieting my mind. It involves connecting with people I really feel a beautiful connection to, posting positive things and talking about positive things, and then taking care of my body. And from there, I make my own hours, and I generally love what I do. That's key. I get to talk about the spirituality stuff all day long.
It's that's great, right?
It's fantastic.
It rocks. I'm going to give you all an example. So you need to go look Stryker up. Today, 3 hours ago, this is what he posted this morning. Life can be a lot of fun. It can be an adventure. It can be exciting, but it's really hard too. Wait here. I've broken it down into simple steps that you can follow. How to win at life. Step 1, let people do what they need to do to make them happy and mind your own business. Do what you need to do to make you happy. The end. That's just drop, done.
That's
over.
It. Let's not complicate this shit.
Over.
Okay. Simple.
Without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. And I know that this is true in my life. So for me to step into somebody else's life and interfere in their process is because I don't want to deal with my own.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have to sit and look at what's wrong with some other human being, that means I'm just, first off, it's a mirror. I got to own that. If I see it, it's part of me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a kick in the butt when you sit and listen. And somebody's talking about someone else, what they're actually doing. And this is the part of when we get to choose what you just said. Allow people to do what they're going to do and just don't interfere. Practice the art of non-interference and no attachments to the outcomes, no attachments to any of that. This is an allowance in life. So let's step into the appreciation factor and into the gratefulness factor. We've talked about a lot of ways to implement a simple implementation of hypnosis, especially with your app.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer that the flow, the energy of appreciation, of gratitude, not just gratitude though, Stryker. I mean gratefulness, that kind where you just sit there and you are just in that space of oneness, at one minute with source, God, whatever you all want to call it, he, she, it, I don't care. Where is that appreciation factor for you? How do you implement this into your hypnosis?
For me, again, I'm a pretty simple guy. Like that instruction I just gave for this morning. Yes, step 1 and then period. That's it. It's done. For me, it's all about the basic emotion of happiness, being happy. See, sometimes appreciation or gratefulness is a little confusing for me because it almost implies an obligatory thing where I should feel grateful for what I have. I owe God or energy source. I owe someone gratitude for what I have. And if there's an all-knowing, all-being, all-loving, omnipotent God, you don't need shit. You don't need anything. Just wants you to be happy. And so many people say, I got to thank God. You don't need to, I want you to be happy. And if being grateful and giving that energy back to the universe, whatever it does it for you, makes you happy, do that. But do what makes you happy. That's the thing. Other people want to control other people's lives. I don't give a crap. If you want to marry 3 women, 2 men, I don't really care what you do. I really don't care as long as you're happy, just not hurting other people. If what you do infringes upon the rights of others or tries to restrict their right to be happy, or you hurt little kids, then we're going to have a problem. But other than that, do what makes you happy. And for me, that's the alignment with gratitude. I love what look, I never tell anyone to settle. Don't settle. Don't be happy with what you've got. Yes, you have to be happy with what you've got. Be happy in this moment. And when you're happy in this moment, then those other happy addendums come into your life. Then you get the new opportunities, the new love, the new travel, the adventures. But it all starts from just really just enjoying today. We don't get today ever again. We're never going to have March 24th of 2021 ever again at 11:40, whatever it is in the morning. You and I are having, when I'm with you, I'm trying to be the best day of me I can be.
Right.
Okay. And this is our moment right here, right now. The moment of power is the present moment. The past is done. We've all made mistakes. We all have regrets. We're all been like, what the hell was I thinking? Right? It's done. And unless you want to argue quantum physics, and I'm not smart enough to do so, it's done. The past is unwritten. I'm sorry, the future is unwritten. But we are writing the future with like a magic pen. What we're doing right here, right now is controlling exactly where we're going to be in a week, 6 weeks, a year from now. And so this is the moment of power. And when you want to sit in gratitude for what you have, or excitement for what you're going to create, or just enjoying connecting with whoever you're connecting with that moment, you are in alignment with your energy for creating optimal health, abundance, and relationships.
I completely love that. And really, it's regardless of the word is just word. It's the intent and the energy behind the word. To me, appreciation is bliss. I'm not normally sitting around looking at what. I look at the who'sville. So there was this guy, his name was Bob Miller, and Bob was practiced gratitude success. He had had a couple of strokes, and he came back from that. He used a lot of different, biofeedback and all this. And I'll never forget when he brought up who in your life are you grateful for? Those people that no matter what they were to you in your life, just appreciating other beings, to being of service and stepping into a heart conscious space of appreciation. And the reason I love this, and it's joy. So bliss, joy, appreciation, all of those things are the same. That's exactly the energy I'm looking to keep myself surrounded in and by. But when I am appreciating someone and their heart, like you right now, and I'm agreeing, present, appreciating all that you have been willing to do and bring forward, how you are here with me right at this moment. You said the sacred yes, you showed up. All of this is to me the beauty and essence of life, and this is where the bliss is. So I really look at a who when it comes to that.
I really like that. That makes a lot of sense. That resonates with me. That's really important. I think that's a wonderful perspective and how to look at it. Yeah, I see. I've learned. That's great. I've learned something. I'm going to grow from that now.
Thank you, Bobby. Like that. Well, we're going to thank him. He's not here anymore on the earthly plane, but it was a practice striker that really did change my life because because you matter. That's why. And my Saf Buxy, I love you too, sweetie. He's on. And that's it, man. You are teaching people how to be a better themselves, helping in this remembrance process. Your work is extraordinary. I was lucky enough to be one of the people that were able to get your hypnosis course that's on Udemy. And you are really, really wonderful at what you do. You have a beautiful energy and a beautiful guidance. Let's go into using this. Let's just take a step back into if you are struggling with anything. I hope this works for everything. So if somebody right now in their life is just feeling like they're literally at their limit, they're done, they can't take anymore, I'm over it. I mean, that's it. They're just done. Where are they going to start? Where are they going to go to if you tell them, I can, you can, I am, you can, you've got this. And they're like, yeah, no, my experience does not show me that. My experience just shows me I do that, and then I still get eaten alive because they're still in that mode of thinking life is working. It's working against them rather than for them. How do we shift it?
That's a good question. That's really pretty good. 3 basic things I try to teach everyone that, we are, number one, we are each individual, unique individuals, that there's never been anyone else like you. There never will be. And I use the analogy of fingerprints. No two people who have ever been on this planet have the same fingerprints. I find that
Mm.
fascinating, maybe more than the average person does. I just read somewhere that no two people have the same tongue print. I think souls are more complex than fingerprints and tongues, and you have to really embrace your uniqueness. That I make people understand that, kids today, or my son loves to play video games. And right before, and I like video games too, but when you play a video game like Mario Kart or something, you choose your avatar. You choose if you want to be Yoshi, you want to be Mario, you want to be Luigi. You choose your avatar. Well, you leapt into this physical life with a quest. You came here to grow your level of self-love and from there, love of others. And this is the avatar you needed to do that. You didn't need to be someone else. This is who you need to be, either female, male, somewhere in between. You need to be living in the United States or elsewhere. This is what your soul wanted in order to help you learn your lessons that you came to learn. And everyone's lessons are different. The commonality is you're here again to grow your level of self-love and then love of others. But how we get there is very different for everyone. So I want people to start to appreciate their uniqueness. Start to recognize that this is not just random chaos. You're just not a coincidence of your parents getting together and now, boom, you're thrown into all this drama. There's a purpose for your physical life. There's a purpose for everyone's physical life. The second thing that's predicated on is that there are no coincidences. Not a single thing in your life is a coincidence. Not if you stub your toe, not if you win the lottery. Nothing is a coincidence. It's all the universe, your higher self, God, call it what you want, helping you to think, feel, and act in a way that's in alignment with your soul's quest. From there, number one, you're unique. Number two, there are no coincidences. Number three, there are no negatives. And this is the most difficult thing for people to understand. We have perceived negatives. Not a single thing in your life is negative. If you want to look at your life through the lens of a grounded, fear-based human being, where you got about 80 years or so to do what you're here to do, you're going to see some real limits. But if you start to become spiritual and you recognize you are eternal, and you draw a timeline of eternity, well, that's a long-ass line. That's an actual line. And if I ask you to notate on that timeline 80 years or so, it's an imperceptible dot. We're taking this life way too seriously. And there are no negatives. And the best example I can use is, again, when we have a tragic day like 9/11, September 11th. That's a terrible day. I'm not trying to minimize it. I don't want to see it again. My heart breaks for the people who were directly affected and even indirectly affected. But I don't know if you remember 9/11, but right after 9/11, most of the people watching this probably do. You remember how we treated each other days and weeks afterwards?
Mm-hmm.
We were all in this together. We were compassionate. We let people, instead of trying to nudge people out on the expressway, who's getting in front of it, you let people in. You were kinder. We're all in this together. Even nations of the world that don't historically like the United States were like, that's not right. This is just wrong. We have an opportunity to be different as a globe. You have an opportunity to be different as a person, as a family, as a town, a country, a globe. But what happens very quickly after that, we go right back to, we got to get them, we got to smash them, we got to kill them, and the opportunity is lost. But don't worry. The universe is a badass teacher, man. Going to keep bringing us more and more lessons until you get it right. On an individual basis, you're going to get numerous lessons, and they're going to feel like you get knocked on your ass time and time and time again. But I want you to know that there are no negatives. And every time you get knocked down, you can continue to think, feel, and act the exact same way you've been thinking, feeling, and acting and get the same results. Or you can wake up and you can become enlightened. You can start to live more like a soul on earth and less like a grounded, fear-based human being. When you live like a soul on earth and you recognize your purpose, you recognize everyone matters, you matter, things begin to change. And that's what it takes. If you want to kind of stay stuck in your no negative mindset, again, if there's a God, a creator, whatever you want to call it, you were given free will. And that's the nature of the soul. You can think, feel, and act however you want. I choose to believe that I'm unique. I choose to believe I create my reality, that I can make a difference in my life and a difference in other people's lives. And that works for me. You want to think and feel like I do? I'll be more than happy to help you do so. You want to continue to say, no, life sucks and then you die? I can't argue with you. You find all the evidence you need to prove your point.
Absolutely. And that goes back to allowing people to just be where that they're at. But I love that. Okay, look, I'm 100% behind this, especially what you were talking about with the no negatives. We were taught that to look at something and to judge it as being that and it's working against us rather than for us. Imagine if we all just shifted our perspective today and every single thing that comes forward today was for our benefit, regardless of what it may appear as, but just go. So how do I go into like an observer mode and kind of just observe what's happening without judging. It's just kind of looking at it is how I see it.
Mhm.
When I observe even this last year and a half, the whole year, whatever, just over a year,
Mhm.
we've all been shown this beautiful opportunity to see life in a different perspective. We were forced to slow down.
Yes.
People
Yes.
started going, well, wait a minute. I didn't really love that job, and I really don't love that relationship, and I actually really don't love me. Oh my gosh. And what have I been doing? And it brought up a lot of questions for people. In this moment, everyone has been able to sit back and realize how important this moment is, I believe. Th-
100%.
what do you think about the fact that those that are complaining about what's going on in the world and their mother, their brother, their sister, to me, I feel like it's a distraction from self because they don't want to deal with their own stuff. What do you see that as?
It's complicated. The one thing I always want to remind people that, again, I'm a former history teacher. I have a pretty good I know history pretty well. Is that we are in a better place historically than any other time. Any other time. If you think your great grandmother, your great great grandmother, your great 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 grandmother had a better, easier life than you do not know history. You just don't.
Mm,
If you think that there's more hate in the world today or more violence, you just don't know history. We have a
yeah.
ways to go. We're kind of constantly grow and evolve. But this is the safest, most easiest, abundant time to be alive in the history of mankind. And again, there are short-term down ticks with what's going on now stuff. But this is a wonderful time to be alive. There's more ways to make money than ever before. There's more ways to stay healthy and connect with people than ever before. Even though it's funny, even though we were shut down and quarantined for this past year the way we were, some of the best connections I've ever made have been made this past year. I have connected with more people socially through Facebook and other ways than any other year that I can think of.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, the opportunities are there. That's the thing. That's what always makes the successful entrepreneur. They find the opportunities when everyone else is screaming that the sky is falling.
Right, completely. Well, go ahead and do that. We're over here looking at I love this because yeah, I have connected. I'm sitting here with you right now. I mean, seriously, there's just like this is, but the Zooming. You know, I did a conference. We did 16 workshops in 2 days. It was a Goddess Fest,
Mm-hmm.
and we did it all online. It was so cool because now we have this digital imprint that lasts forever.
Right, right.
And it's
Yeah.
so rad. So yeah, I mean, just looking for the cool ways that this has all worked for us and not against us. I love that. Thank you. So Striker, before we head out, because we're heading up on the hour now, let's tell everybody we know about your app, but let's remind them for those that have just joined us and for those that are going to be watching the replay, as well as how can they work with you individually as well as just through Udemy?
I have, if you get it, all your answers can be found at strikercorbin.com. People, if you're on Long Island, I have an office in Hauppauge, Long Island. It's pretty centrally located on the island. You come work with me, one-on-one sessions, a nice office setting. Zoom, I do sessions like this virtually using Zoom meeting services. That's been a real boon due to the pandemic. People have finally learned how to use Zoom and other things like that. But always reach out to me. Let's connect on Facebook. If you call, email, I'll always get back to you as soon as I can. I don't ignore anyone. I try never to miss anyone. So it's easy to connect with me. Pick my brain. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But again, I have a lot of resources out there. So let's go to strikercorbin.com. That's going to be your best bet. Udemy, I offer a course in how to learn about hypnosis. I have a hypnosis for weight loss course there. I have 2 courses up there. And the app is, again, an introductory way for hypnosis. Hypnosis is not scary. It's not mind control. It's taking your mind and focusing it where you want to go instead of where society, media, your church, your clergy want it to go. You need to focus your thoughts. And when you do that, you start to take the first steps to taking your life back. You're in control. The wheel is in your hands, folks. What direction this thing goes in, I swear to you, I want to swear on the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, I don't care. You are in complete control over your destiny. You, everything. There are no coincidences. This is all designed to be a successful journey for you.
Rock on. And this is, you guys just go to strikercorbin.com and get the tools that you need to be the best you can be. And remember, who are you grateful for? Y'all know how that rock and rolls. Put it in the chat. I'll be watching for it later. And watch for all of the great shows that are going to be coming over the next couple of days on Spirituality Gone Wild. Erica, we are so glad that you did too. Thank you so much. So glad that you are very welcome. Thank you. Woo, Wendy. I love you guys so much. Have a glorious day full of positive momentum and gratitude moments.